Hello, my name is Jeremy, this is Red Beans Recording, and today we're talking about the Squarp Rample, a 4-channel sample playback device with all kinds of goodies under the hood. 4. Channel 2 is now in, and you're hearing it round robin between the sample layers for that particular channel. All 4 outputs will normalize to the mix output, but I had them going into the Dopefer A138S so I can pan and have individual volume levels for my effects sends, which works like a charm. Let's bring in channel 3. This thing has one of the best sample libraries that comes with it I have ever heard. Every single one is like a little track starter onto itself. It's really fantastic. You can hear here that it can get pretty dark, but again, it's all just samples, so you can do whatever you want. The fact that it can cycle through samples in each channel is rad, and we'll show you a lot of ways that you can use this in your compositions to get just really awesome stuff. Here are the options in the settings. Velocity, sensitivity, pitch, all this stuff can be addressed by MIDI. You can see the MIDI ports in the bottom. There is a slicer and layer controls. Right now I'm going through each layer randomly, so each channel is getting randomly cycled, and there's different cycle modes for it too, so you can cycle through chords and other things like that. I'm now adjusting pitch, the first modulatable option in the collection of options. Next, we're going to mess with bit, which is a bit crusher and sample reduction effect. You can get real nasty with it if you want. Yeah. Filter, DJ style filter, low pass to high pass. Depending on where you have the knob, it's either a low pass filter or a high pass filter. Again, modulatable via CV. Freeze is a granular freeze effect that lets you travel through the waveform. And oh god, it's getting crazy. You thought we were done getting crazy. Well, you're wrong. This is a sample kit getting triggered by Variegate. We're going to start adding modulation with my tetrapod, and we're going to have some fun. Assign modulation source to all channels. Freeze. Yeah. Now it's assigned to the playback mode. All the way through versus just tiny little slices. Look at it go. Alright, so now tetrapod 1 is still assigned to the playback mode. I've added a kick and the snare from the QD, and it's so much fun. We're going to assign CV input 3 to all channels pitch. Yeah. Channel 2 is assigned to freeze, and now I can just go ham on this. Channel 4 is now assigned to filter. 4 levels of control over all the samples or the samples individually. Fuck yeah. There is a fantastic sample library that comes with the Rample. This is one of the melodic sort of like pad kits that comes with it, and it cycles through each one of the layers and just gives you really cool, diverse results. And here's with some backing drums from the QD and a little bit more arrangement. Here's one of the first kits, this really cool jazzy drum kit. This is one of the stock sort of melodic kits, this moody, beautiful tremolo thing, panned hard left and right with the A138S that's right next to it. It's really pretty. Of course this thing can do techno. I got a kick and a snare from the QD, and all the rest of this is coming from the Rample, cycling through various glitches for each sample bank. A little bit of effects. Another one of the melodic kits. Lots of beautiful, beautiful melodic stuff. And this is all stock. You can obviously add your own if you want. There's some real gnarly kits in here, and each one is like a little track starter unto itself. It's like instant res. Eric Whitaker is an orchestral composer, and he has a collection of choral works from 2002 that I absolutely adore. So I took some of the samples from that, chopped them up, added them into each channel of the Rample. There's one sample on each layer, and I'm just triggering them with the Variegate. Let's bring in some drums and see how it works together. Some reverb from the Erica Synth DSP, but otherwise all the samples are coming from the Rample, and it works exactly like I want a sampler to work. I recommend please go check out Eric Whitaker's choral works. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you, Eric. All right, so I made this kit from pieces of the Native Instruments expansion Helios Ray. Kick on 1, snare on 2, hi-hat cycling on 3, and then a series of chords. Each chord is an individual sample. That was my dog. And with the cycling function of the Rample, it's just choosing a new chord every single time a sample is triggered from the Variegate. And you get just this instant groove. It's badass. That's right. Yeah, weird. Alright, bring it back. I said bring it back. That's right. Extra drums from the QD, and bass line I'm manually repitching on the QD. Samples can be cycled through within the Rample, or you can actually select them via velocity from the MIDI ins, and it does come with MIDI adapters. let's go into a more housey version of this same idea. I loaded up a kick drum on channel 1. Channel 3 has a series of little bell hits on it. Channel 2 has a series of sampled individual hits from a bass in massive X, and I'm just cycling through them with each hit. And it creates basically an instant track. Track 4 has free samples from 99 Sounds on it, and we're going to trigger those too. They're going to be like the pad sounds. The cycling function on the Rample is one of my favorite implementations of sampling that I've encountered in general. This is all just gates being sent to the Rample. And it's cycling through those samples, creating a new composition for me depending on how that cycle works. I love it so much. There's track 4. Turn it down just a bit. And now we're going to bring in some drums from the QD and see how this all works together. Just a drum machine and a sampler. Let's go, baby. Cycles through on a gate depending on how you set it up. You can create all new progressions just by changing how you're sending gates to it. It's badass. There are so many kits that come with this thing, and they are all unique and awesome, and sometimes you need to hold the assign button down to get to them faster. Let's hear some drum and bass. I made this kit out of loops and hits. And, I always gotta see if something can drum and bass. I have some... Alright, thanks, Pat. I have some performance stuff set up with a tetrapod, filter, and effect send. Let's bring that beat in. Channel 3 on the tetrapod is set to the DSP effect to get some effects. Channel 1 is set to the filter of the Rample. So all the reverb stuff you're hearing is from the Erica Synths DSP, but everything else is the Rample. Those pad hits are cycling through different options and giving me sort of a progression, which is dope. It's a performance sampler. You can really, really have a lot of fun with it, and I have been. There is no time stretching as of the creation of this video, so you will need to either repitch your samples in the Rample to get them to fit to a different tempo, or just know what tempo your samples are at. Using the tetrapod pretty much exclusively for modulation, but obviously those 4 CD modulation inputs can have anything assigned to them. I've been using PAMs, I've been using LFOs, I've been using sample and hold, I've even been using the CV channels of the variegate to modulate individual parameters or all parameters for a track. It's just so fun. It is fun. It's fun to play. All right, so this is my sort of wrap-up of what I think of the Rample. Highly capable, smaller than like the Squid sample, though I would love to try the Squid sample at some point. 4 channels. I wish that the mix was stereo and that you could pan within the unit and not need an external mixer to get panning. But the Doper mixer is cheap and makes a great companion to it and gives you hands-on control. Four modulation lanes is adequate, and I've been having a lot of fun with it, as you've seen. It's a really great compact sample playback unit, and the cycling function on it is really what makes me happy, because I know that I can make a series of samples for each of the layers. I think you can have up to 12 per channel, so 12 individual samples that you can cycle through for each layer, and that's where the power of it really is to me. I can create progressions, or I can create bass lines, or I can create percussions that are constantly giving me either velocity sensitivity or timbre changes. It's just a really ingenious way of getting a lot of power out of a small sample unit. And as you can hear, it really comes alive with a little bit of effects depending on what kind of kit you're using. So for me, having a dedicated drum unit and then the Rample next to it is not only a great rhythm section, but also a really fantastic, like, track starting section. I haven't even gotten through half the kits that come with the Rample, and luckily they leave a lot of room on it for you to add your own samples as well. They don't just fill up the card completely, which is really awesome. 44.1 16-bit mono samples are what it takes, so check out the manual for how that works. It's not complicated. Yeah, that's my take on the Rample. I've been having a great time with it, and I hope this video has shown you just a small taste of what it can do to get your lips wet. I hope I got you wet. Wait, that sounds really bad. Anyways, my name is Jeremy. This is Red Means Recording, and I hope you have a wonderful day.